Okay, example 2 of finding composite surface area. Again, the first step is we want to figure out what two 3D figures we're dealing with. The first one we see here is this rectangular prism that's on the bottom. And sitting on top of the rectangular prism is a square pyramid. Because the base of the pyramid is a square. Now the second step is we find the surface area of each figure separately. So using our formulas, our formula for rectangular prism is the surface area equals 2 parentheses length times width plus width times height plus height times length. And looking at our shape, this is 12 is our length, 12 is also our width, and then 10 is our height. We're going to plug those into our formula. So we get surface area is 2 times 12 times 12 plus 12 times 10 plus 10 times 12. Plugging that whole thing into your calculator, we get 768 for the total surface area, inches squared. So I'm going to put that up here, 768 inches squared. And now we're going to work over here for our pyramid. Now just a reminder of this square pyramid, we didn't actually have a formula. What we had to do was look at the shapes on the outside of the figure. Okay? And for the square pyramid, we had one triangle that we wanted to times by 4 that went on the outside. We also had the square on the bottom, but I don't want to include that because if you look at the picture, it's just going to get covered up and we'll have to subtract it anyway, right? So we don't want to do that. So I'm just going to look at this triangle with a base of 12 and a height of 9. And we know our triangle formula is base times height all over 2. 9 times 12, we get 108 divided by 2, and we end up getting 54. That's what we get for one of the triangles. Now remember, we have to times that number by 4, so I'm going to take 54 times 4, which is 216 inches squared. So that's our surface area of those triangles on the outside of the pyramid. Remember, once we place that pyramid on top of the rectangular prism, we want to recognize, okay, what gets covered up that we included in our formulas. And we notice the top of the rectangular prism is getting covered up, and so we need to subtract that. And it is shown over here, it's going to be a square with dimensions of 12 by 12. So the area formula is length times width. 12 times 12 is 144 inches. So that's our area that we're going to subtract in the next step. Bringing it all together, we want to remind ourselves of the two surface areas we found, which were 768 for the rectangular prism and 216 for the pyramid, subtracted by the area of that square, which was 144. Put those all together and we get 840 inches squared. Was it inches? Yes, inches.